So we are back for the next match in the Eventy Cup, and we're seeing a bit of a different warp-in situation here from before. Both teams coming in kind of a V shape from each other. We have the Vidra team coming in, their entire team up at 50 with that Rail Mega. That's where they want to be. On the other side, we have the Roke and the Cyclone in right at 0, ready to just charge up into that Vidra team and try and get some heavy tackle on those ships. The countdown is now running in local, and the match will be underway in about 5 seconds.
Yeah, Vider's going to need to do a very good job of screening off the incoming tackle and then burn out at the same time.
Yeah, of course. Now they've got that Rifter out there, which is a really, really good tackle ship and perfect for screening in this particular format. And as we see that, he immediately starts burning down towards the Roke, which is turning up towards him. So he wants to get in there, try and screen. Now, the problem is he's got both Scram and Web, but he is a little bit squishy. And that Executor is going to be having a lot of trouble to keep him up against both the Cyclone and the Roke.
Okay, so interestingly enough, the Merlin has not really been engaging his propulsion mod. He needed to be burning around quickly to try to engage tackle on things. And then Bap on the side of the Brave team has been burning in already. We can see Randolph Sykes in the Rifter is moving quickly to intercept him. And the Rail Megathron has already been plinking away at the Scythe, now down into a little over half shields there. So the Rifter has been grappled by the Roke, and he's been then forced off. The Rifter is going to be trying to push in either for the Cyclone or the Roke here, as it looks like the Cyclone has been fully tackled, getting screened off, allowing Lord Colin to just in the nick of time bail away from the hard tackle that Cyclone would bring.
Yeah, and that Roke is getting pretty close to that Megatron. However, he is still out of his range, so he's just going to be chasing him down, and that means there's not very much damage going to be applied just now. And as we say that, the Prophecy screening the Roke there from the Sudden Otters team. That means the Roke is now essentially neutered. He can't catch that Megatron until they deal with that Prophecy. Prophecy, one of the tankiest ships in the game in general. Now, with armor links and an Executor, that is going to be really hard for them to chew through. But the Roke and the Cyclone do put out a lot of damage, so they're just going to work on it for the next minutes, I think.
Yeah, if there was any target that was the correct one to make, it was definitely going to be the Prophecy to screen off the Roke. But the Vidra team needs to be killing the Scythe that much quicker. Prophecy already down to lower than half
taking a lot of
armor.
damage now. He's into very, very low shield, and as we said, he goes into low armor, so they're about to lose that Scythe for the Coupbois. He really needs to just try and pull range, get out away, and try and save himself, but I really don't think it's going to happen. He's got a ball of drones on him, chasing him around right now.
Critically, if this Scythe does go down, and it looks like he's been burning away at full speed away from everything, now, as you have mentioned, he does have a ball of drones on him, which may pop him. Then, after the Merlin goes down, there's nothing really that can hold down that Megathron, save the Cyclone. So, Merlin down for Brave already, but Nebula, in his Prophecy, is now into Hull. As a Scythe for
Yeah, and that Scythe
Brave
dying
Pops.
as well. So now the Algos tackling that Talwar. Bit of a strange choice, but I guess they've already got tackle on the Roke and the Cyclone, so really the entire Coupbois team just completely locked down now. That Prophecy dropping very, very, very low. He is getting a few reps landing from that Executor, but as soon as he goes down, and he is, then that is the links off the field for the Sudden Otters team. Critically, the Coupbois still have the links with that Cyclone, so they're still able to, although they don't have reps, they're still able to tank quite significantly just in pure EHP buffer, and of course the Cyclone and the Roke both with their own local tanks.
So, very important, the Megathron of Lord Colin, you can see him just burning out into space. He just popped the Talwar, that was going to be applying damage to the Rifter and the Algos. So, right now, Nikan Noiser needs to be burning away at full speed from the Cyclone and the Roke, who you can see are in fast pursuit of him. And then they need to just get all their damage onto the Cyclone. Importantly, this Megathron is just completely not even bothered. He's at essentially no speed, allowing for him to have exactly perfect transversal to keep slamming that Cyclone with his railguns at range.
Yeah, that Cyclone is now boosting, so he's going to run out of charges after a little while. Now, he might have been able to avoid using his charges as the Scythe is still alive for quite a long time, but he is now starting to burn through them. You can see him just struggling to hold as the damage from that Megathron sitting at range comes flying in. He is also tackled and locked down by that Rifter of Randolph. It just keeps him there, keeps him inoptimal, and keeps him from moving from that Megathron. And really, I think, unless they smoke that Logi pretty quick, I think we could see this match going to the Sudden Otters team. Although that Algos now about to die, leveling the playing field a little bit more, and he is down.
Yeah, Randolph Sykes doing a good job of getting the drive-by screen there, then pulling away, but he's now fully grappled. I don't think he'll be able to peel away too much more. Importantly, if Lord Colin in that Megathron can eventually pop the Cyclone, the Rogue isn't quite fast enough to get on top of that Megathron. So if they can plink away at the Rogue after killing the Cyclone, they will win on points eventually.
Yeah, really what they should be trying to do is free that Cyclone. That Rifter is just right on top of him. I'd like to see that Roke come in and try and help his friend in the Cyclone. Just extract the Cyclone, and Cyclone could chase down that Mega. But as we're saying that, it's clear that the Cyclone has run out of charges. He's probably boosting on cap now. He's got about 2 or 3 of those until he's completely capped out, and we'll see him go down as well. And with that, the Roke will lose his boosts, and it's really just up to BAP now to try and solo the entire team. But the Executor of Sudden Otters now tackled.
Yeah, that Executor has had a grappler on him for a while. So what this Rifter needs to do is he needs to counterweb that Rogue and try to allow Niconoiser to overheat that afterburn and just burn to freedom. Alternatively,
yeah, and as Rifter, you say that, we're seeing the Rifter just burning after the Rogue right now, probably doing exactly what you just said.
Alternatively, what that Rifter can do is he can burn to the center of the arena for one of these wrecks, right? And a Niconoiser will probably go down eventually to this Rogue. If that Rifter just stays alive and burns for freedom, Lord Colin and Randolph Sykes is exactly 1 more point than the Rogue of Brave, which would allow them to win on points. But it looks like the Vidra team is just going all in now on the Rogue and is going to try to break him before that happens to Niconoiser.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like once again you can stop the Rogue. Disappointing outcome for the Rogue.
Yeah, so far Niconoiser had been able to repair a surprising amount of that damage. I was expecting BAP to be hitting the Executor much harder with the grapple on top of him, but it would appear that he's having some issues with tracking.
Yeah, it's highly likely he was having to overheat that grappler just to try and slow down that Executor, and obviously there's only so long he can do that. The Rogue, not exactly a fast ship, so he's going to be slowly trundling in and closing range with that grappler, and eventually he's going to have to turn off the heat, probably allowed that Executor to just pull a little bit more range, especially as soon as Randolph heard from his friend Nika that he was getting tackled. Randolph peeled off of that Cyclone, came burning down, did a drive-by web on that Rogue, and just allowed the Executor to break free once again. Really good play by Randolph there.
Yeah, really well played by him. The Executor now is into deep fall-off of that grapple, as we can see him slowly speeding up, and now he's completely burning for freedom. He is going to get his webs on top of Randolph in the Rifter, and even if the Rifter goes down, that Rogue is now into low shields and won't be surviving too much longer.
Yeah, I mean, it's likely that he's also running out of cap charges pretty soon, if not already, and is just going to be boosting on cap. He's probably not really running his guns, so because he can't hit anything at the moment, so he's probably just going to be conserving that cap to try and tank a little bit longer. He is regenerating shield a little bit. He is hovering around about 10% shield, as I guess the Megathron may be struggling to apply a little bit, as he is quite far away from him.
Yeah, that Megathron could close to a bit of range and start hitting with maybe thorium, if not wanting to be in antimatter range. But either way, I don't see this Rogue surviving the rest of the minute and 40 seconds that we have left on the clock.
Yeah, there's not really much that BAP there can do, so he's probably just on comms right now telling the rest of his team to get good. So we say he's probably just run out of charges there, so now he is going into armor and he's going to drop pretty shortly.
So importantly, the Sudden Otter team will move into the quarterfinals to face the winner of our next match, which will be offline versus classic US time zone feed. You have a
it was a great performance by both teams there.
Do you have a favorite in that upcoming match?
Let me have a look. So who are we looking at? Offline and classic US time zone feed. We saw US time zone feed earlier on today, and they performed pretty well. They executed pretty well. So I think I'm going to probably lean on them. But we'll wait and see the pick ban, because as we know, this entire tournament or matches individually can be just won or lost in the pick ban phase. So that is a critically important thing.
Yeah, for sure. We're seeing a lot of good fights in local. Both Vidra and the Coupbois are congratulating each other on getting this far. That Rogue just surviving to live to win, as it looks like he might have gotten ancillary shield recharge. See if he can
Yes, 30
survive
seconds
now.
left on the timer, and he is boosting. He is very low structure. He is starting to just bleed a little bit more structure. He's got 8% left. Can he survive to the end of the match? Just on points, just to be smug to the rest of his team. I really want to see him do it now. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe you cannot stop the Rock.
Well, regardless of whether or not the Rogue is stopped, the team's progress in this tournament has been stopped. And with that, we're going to be sending it back to Ben in the studio to break down that one for you.